Hello and welcome back to the ESA Cup. I'm your host for this evening, Chamberlain, and I am joined by the wonderful Aria. Say hello to everyone on the stream.
Hello. How's everyone's evening going?
Hopefully it is good, because my evening's been good so far. Now, we have quite the busy schedule for you this evening. It is play week number 3, and it is also play day number 3 of the same week. So, we have 3 games for you this evening. A lot of threes going on, actually. I'm sensing that's the theme so far. Now, there's 7 weeks worth of group stages. Of course, like I say, we're on group week number 3. The games for this evening should be up on your screen at this moment. You'll see a limited versus Alpine Vestung, which I'll probably just butchered that name completely, which starts pretty much now. They're just waiting in the lobby just now. I'm about to start the game. We're just going to run through everything in the bands and stuff like that, and then we'll get a look at that game. And then at 9:15, of course, all these times are in Central Eastern Time. So if you're wondering what that is in GMT, that's just an hour less. So 7 o'clock where I am anyway. 8 o'clock obviously in Europe. PBX Esports are on second. That's roughly 9:15. Now, of course, if the games finish earlier, then the games can start earlier as well. It really does depend. Very unlikely that would happen. Usually, the teams want to still start at that specified time. So you very rarely see things start earlier. Maybe a little bit later if things run later, but that's about it. It's PBX Esports versus Molotov Gang, and that's the German one. So they have 2 rosters in this league. And then you've got closing out the night, you've got Villains versus Night Wolves at roughly 10:30 Central Eastern Time as well. And that's all 3 matches for us this evening, and they're all within the same group as well, so it should be a nice fun evening for us all to decide what's happening within Group A. Now, what we'll do is we'll move on to the map bands. We'll have a look and see where we're heading for our first location for the first map, which Aria will be so kind as to run us through.
Of course, we have to run through. Someone has to run us through the maps here. So tonight we're going to see the beautiful map Skyscraper. And right, Skyscraper, past seasons hasn't been the most prominent map, granted. But this season, right, we've already seen it 11 times, or we've actually seen 11 rounds of Skyscraper, I should say, which I think this is our 3rd time seeing this map. And honestly, it's going to be a bit of a mix-up here with this map, honestly. 54% defense win rate, 45 attack win rate. So it's very much a mixed bag on what we could see here from both teams, as it is going to be the side of MVG, or not MVG, Alpha Strong starting on the defense, if I am correct. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right. You are correct. You are correct. Correct, Amando. Unlimited will be starting us off on the attack for this map.
They do start on the upper foot, but that can all change once the round swaps do occur. And this matchup's definitely going to be an interesting one to see for all the viewers at home.
Yeah, pretty much straightforward. Easy peasy. Nice ban. It's the best of 1, so there's not much really to speak about when it comes to bans, and that's just purely because most teams want to pick a frag heavy map and not show too many strats in a best of 1. That's how you end up on Skyscraper, Oregon, Clubhouse. Well, I say Clubhouse, but it's one of those ones where people just like to go because it's so default. Everybody knows what's happening on it, so you don't really get your borders and your theme parks. Don't really see these maps kind of early on in the season. But into the bands, we'll have a look and see what these operators are going to be going.
We want to see some interesting bands coming in here first, though, as the Ace is going to be taken off the board first. Opinions on that one, Jam? That's a bit of a strange band that we don't see that often. Opinions?
It's a strong band, I think. It's again, yeah, it's one of the ones that it's not. It's like Ace is in a comfortable position with the 1.5 on AK-12. The Selma charges are pretty balanced. The Claymores and stuff like that as well coming along. So it's a nice operator. It's a good all-round operator, but it's always a good one to ban. It's not one that's really in the mind for people to ban because it's such a mainstay, and it's kind of like smoke. They're always in your lineup, and no one really thinks to ban it. So yeah, you're right. It's a bit of a rogue pick, to be honest.
Going to have a bit of a rogue comment about Ace, though. Very rogue comment. I think Ace is one of the worst hard breachers in the game.
You
Very
think?
well stated. I reckon so, because right, you have Habana, who if we're going long range hard breachers, Ace, he basically has, it's about the size of 2 can openers is what he opens. 2 to 4 can openers, give or take. Habana, she can open more hatches, more utility. You can open up I think 4, 5 hatches with Habana. You can open up 1 with Ace. He makes smaller holes than Thermite can.
Okay.
He's just all round, in my opinion, one of the worst hard break.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
before we descend into more controversies, I'll allow the chat to actually decide what their feelings are on that one. So what do you think in the chat? Do you think Ace is a strong operator, a balanced operator, or do you think he's weak? Pop your opinions in the chat. And by the way, just to round out the ban face as well, there was a Thunderbird taken off the board, a Ying and a Valkyrie. Ying, I'm not too surprised to see go actually, with prominence in Pro League over the last kind of week or so. Thunderbird is, I think it's a bit more targeted to be honest, and the Valk is just standard to be honest for a map like Skyscraper. It's one of those bans that it's always a good ban.
I don't think the Thunderbird's a target ban. I think that's just more so you just want the defenders to get that little bit of extra juice. You don't want them to get back up into that HP levels that you know that makes it a little bit more difficult to kill them off. You know, it's just a strategical play. I don't think it's a targeted ban, but we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Whether it will be a targeted ban or not, you know.
Well, we'll certainly find out anyway as we have the first site, which is of course that office area. You can see, or no, it's not actually. I'm talking rubbish. It's D. I do believe. I just noticed that extension outside. Of course, everybody likes to have an extension out towards office. It's Stick, though. It's going to find the first pick onto Navid, I think. There's a lot of X's in names tonight, so it really depends on the pronunciation there. Apologies if we're saying it wrong. Do correct us in the chat. Make sure that we get the right one. Fleeks also evens up the odds there. 4 versus 4 now, as Sticks is the one that is shut down there. So pretty much an immediate refrag within 30 seconds there. Flipper just holding inside of T room, waiting for someone to cross there. And the OSA actually shows quite a bit there. Cyber is able to take the head of Nui just outside of T room. And that is at the end of that hallway. You can see that OSA shield is up and running, just waiting for someone to try and cross between the sites. Potentially a mistake, waiting for the bait a little bit from Becker. He's just going to hold in behind the shield and just play the waiting game and just see if anyone overpeaks, see if someone shows a little bit too much. Forces it over the other side. I don't know if it's Force or Farce, but we'll go with Force at the moment. Again, a lot of X's on side for Unlimited. At least Becker, though, is going to be shut down at the top. Well, not completely shut down, but the double down there is going to come out from the smoke inside the site. It's actually the mute, sorry. It's Cyber to find the C4 sides. I think that's a little bit of overkill there, to be honest, with the C4. Flipper rounding out the round there for an opening round of Alpine Fence thing, going for that win.
Again, as the stats show, and on paper is not all the same as practical, but here we have a heavy defensive side of Skyscraper so far. That round didn't look like the attackers had much of a see in whatsoever. They just kind of, you know, scraping at the surface of Skyscraper, but the defense side always had their answer back, and you know, C4 kills coming out. The attackers had no reply. With no response.
Yeah, pretty steady round there, to be honest. Opening us up, a couple of good B picks. Again, the C4 was, to be honest, it's a little bit overkill, let's be honest here. I don't think the C4 was necessary. I think that was more of a, there's two people down there. I just want to be safe and not quite push out to actually get the finish there. Just send a little bit of utility in, I think.
You know, save the bullets. You know, you want to keep that extra conserved ammo. You don't want to get rid of it all.
Now, slight change here, of course, heading up to office this time. Now, I've got the right site, of course, this time. A lot of teams do like to extend out to office. You do find it's one of those type of maps where you actually end up defending the same points of entry. Office generally ends up being defended pretty much no matter what site is actually chosen, with the exception of potentially barbecue, because it is on the other side of the map, because most of the sites do require some sense of push towards the office side. So, but we are actually going there this time, so quite a bit of focus on holding onto that wall. You'll see you've got the electrified, is it the Cade, I believe? Yes, it's on side.
Cade and mute, a little bit overkill. A little bit overkill, but if it gets the job done, it gets the job done.
Yeah.
But still, I want to see the vertical plays actually to their floor, which is going to make pushing down from the locker room, going to make that a little bit more difficult for the attackers to try and push their way through, get those vertical nades. As we see, 2 nades already though on the side of the Iona, and EMPs are going to go off. That main breach should get open pretty much soon. There is no can openers actually. Oh, there's 2 can openers for the Buck, but he is not going to look like he's going to get those used at all yet, as that wall actually into drum is going to be fully reinforced. That's going to be the first pick to win the round. That's going to be the Buck finding one onto the Solus, and that's going to be a very important move they're taking out very early on in the round, as Solus can provide so much intel for the late round as a post-plant situation, or even when we know the plant's going down.
Yep, important pick there to start things off there onto that Solus. Fleeks here has got a little bit of a cheeky position here, just closed that opening that was just created there courtesy of the Buck. just decide to immediately throw a keeper barrier onto that, just make sure that no one could push through without at least giving the sound cue. Decide to hold a little bit of an angle on it, but is opting just to come off it at this moment in time. Now, Fragger's pushing up towards it, knows exactly the same angle as what we just spoke about is there, doesn't quite know where the Azami is, and a double kill comes out from Styx on the other side of the map through the Buck. Ayano, though, will be dealt with on this side here. Fleeks is able to get at least one and potentially two with a rotate round. It's fast enough to find Naven at the other side, and it's a 1 versus 3 situation. The call will have came out, though, that Fleeks is on the other side towards Shrine, and you can see the red pings coming out, though. The information is there. The Knock knows exactly where Fleeks is, but there's quite a lot of angles here to try and focus on here for Fleeks. The diffuser's now going down. It will be hot in just a second as we start now with the 45-second countdown to the end of this round, and another catch there nearly somehow. Fast gets the flick onto Fleeks, who just missed the shots completely there onto the back of that Knock.
Just looked like we just saw a reverse of what happened the first round. Looked like defenders had all the power. Now attackers have just gotten the power. Who knows? This game could be a very close match if this keeps up with the same momentum. That is just something that will have to grab their attention.
Definitely feels like a back and forward kind of game to me, to be honest.
It feels. Do you remember that match we casted? I think it was MVG recently.
I certainly do.
It feels a bit like that. It feels a bit like that. We're not getting the same, punch, not the same oomph into the rounds, but definitely is feeling somewhat similar to a situation as what we did see back then.
I'm certainly hoping it's closer, to be honest. I don't want another 7-1. I don't want another 7-0 type scenario from any game tonight. I want to see some nice close games, which I'm hoping for that this will be.
Give us a couple nice 7-5s, maybe, a 7-8 into the mix, give us something. Build off of, something interesting.
Now, the good thing is the way the matchups actually work out, they're actually kind of close to each other, so they're both kind of fighting for similar positions. So there's not like a top versus bottom type scenario. You've got both AF and Unlimited are both bottom of the league, or the bottom of their respective groups. They're all both on 0 points, so they both need a win. And at least one of them's going to get a win. At least somebody's going to get some points tonight, so there's that positive to take from it. But yeah, they should be close at least.
Points, we're still early enough into play days. It's, it's nice racking up your points very early on. But again, it's not everything. Some teams might, play cautious until near the end, until they know they can start getting their points. But we'll just have to wait and see if that's what some teams choose to do. But as we get in here, the early engagement could come out here from the mute, though, as the crosshairs are looking to line up, not exactly on the Buck's head. But that's going to be the first engagement on, as the Jaeger is going to find one onto the Nook, and that's going to be the Nook taken down very early on. Again, crucial operator to be taken off the board, as that Nook can be such a hindrance to the defending side later on into the round, as we did see in that previous round.
Yeah, the Jaeger getting quite lucky downstairs and just realising that the Knock was roaming around in there. I think that's where the came in for the entry. You can see in the bathroom window there is exactly where that Knock came in for that surprise entry, but didn't quite get the surprise they needed. And Reclay is going to find another one for the defenders, apologies. And now we're in a 3 versus 5 situation. I apologise for the spectating. It's me that's on spectating tonight. I've not done too many of Skyscraper, so apologies if it is a bit shoddy. It's my first time, pretty much the second time doing it actually. So there's not been a lot of Skyscraper games been happening. 2 versus 5 yellow. Flipper is going to find Styx, and Flipper's now on a double kill on the round, so has been pretty well on that bottom floor there. The Buck actually just came up. He came up from behind the Buck inside of the arcade area and just was able to get that pick behind them. Flipper now back to site, nice and safe, got himself a double and will just get himself wedged inside of Exhibition to help their teammates. Naven though is going to pop outside that breach that has been so beautifully opened up by Nui with the Thermite, but to his detriment because he was taken off the board with a swing outside. These Thermite's still alive though, still remaining outside. I think this is just tactical timeout, to be honest.
Yeah,
looks what it looks like.
Time with the team. Little time with the team, make sure, they can recoup after this round. And again, I've mentioned in our last 2 rounds, probably getting a bit stale at this point. But we're literally seeing reverse opposites of rounds back to back. It was the attackers last round had all the power. Now defenders have all the power. Who's going to take the power shot? Who's going to keep this power?
Well, hopefully one of these teams are able to. Well, I was going to say hopefully maybe one of the teams can start to get themselves a bit of form, but I kind of don't want to see that. I kind of want to see the back and forward. I want to see some mistakes coming out from them. I want to see 1-for-1. I want an overtime game is what I want. From some game tonight, I want an overtime game at some point. Give me some tension is what I'm looking for. Like say, not much to talk about because of course just a timeout here because it's a 1 versus 5. No way you're going to really get that unless you are really feeling the guns tonight, which I don't think Thermite was. And another round there for the defenders of AF, which is of course short form for Alpine Festung, which is a mouthful for me to say anyway, at least.
Yeah, that is just the Scottish, I think, more so.
Yeah.
Little bit, you know. But as we move on, honestly, I reckon we could see a 3-3 coming out of this half. And if that's the case, we could very much easily see an OT coming out.
I hope so.
The rounds are just, you know, back and forth. There's no clear definitive winner here in this. It looks like all the power goes to one, then just shifts right back to the other side. There's no clear distinctive winner in this game. Not yet, anyway.
Well, this is the decisive round for the half, to be honest, because this is where either even up or they start to get a little bit of a gap. So it's really the point in the first half where things could go either way for the team is, well, I mean, the team that's under pressure is unlimited. So they're the ones that are hopefully, for their sake, able to pick up this round.
We'd like to see, hopefully we get to see some overtime though. I'm gunning for this overtime. Don't know about you, Sham, but we are gunning for this overtime.
I'm feeling it. Now, of course, we've probably just cursed them, probably get 3 games in a row that'll be overtime and everybody's voices will be lost and we'll basically be wheezing out the cast at the end. But hopefully it's a good couple of games at least.
Nice little bit of vertical play though there into the kitchen just to make that little site a little bit harder for the attackers to push. As the hatch is open, if you can zoom back over that. I think the hatch has got popped. Hatch has been popped and a lot of vertical play. This is going to be a little dangerous one here for the attackers. A top floor take is going to be required 100%. Are we going to see that coming out though from the side of Unlimited? That is what we will have to wait and see. But it just looks like they're going for the office side right now. As drones are going to come in, the Jaeger's going to get spotted. And it's just not looking like anyone's going to really go into those crosshairs. And the Jaegers is going to get slowly pushed back as nades and stuff are going to fly through, as that's going to be the Buck losing his life, and that's going to be a major operator to lose this early on, as that vertical plate is a crucial bit. But as the defenders have a lot of vertical already set up, it's not the biggest worry for them as of now.
Yep, important pick there, because of course the Buck can go below and or above even, and ping, you know, through the floorboards and whatnot and open up angles and stuff. I mean, most of it is made there because they are planning on holding on to the top floor, but it's always nice to have that extra bit of soft destruction to open things up, which is pretty much all gone. In fact, it is completely all gone. There's no breaching charges or anything on side for the attackers, so it's all just going to be relying on gun skill and hard breach should they need it, which they do have in hand. It's New that has it. New's the hard breach operator, and this time it's going to be in the pocket of the Zero, which is interesting because Zero requires quite a lot of, I guess, intel play in terms of dedicating an operator to it on the attack. It needs a lot of cohesion. You need to have someone that's willing to sit on that role and sit on those cams and make sure. Now, of course, there's some operator that's dead, so they have someone that's going to be able to do that. So it's one of those ones where it actually might work to their effect. Having someone that's dead, having someone that's dedicated to sit on the drones and sit on those cams and make sure there's no one flanking, because there's going to be no way they're flanking. There'll be surely a Zero cam set up to make sure no one can come from behind them. Still, though, pushing on towards the site now. There's quite a lot of players on the top floor, though. 3 versus 4 now it is. Fleeks is able to find force on that top floor. Nui, though, has got himself what they think is an opportunity to get into the site there, but doesn't realise it's been held from above and has to pull back a little bit, though. Look how many members of the defense of AF are on this top floor here, by the way. Every single one of them's up there, except from the one player on the bottom floor, which Nui will put into the dirt. That'll be Reclay that's shut down. And there's still a member just on the left here of Nui who doesn't actually know that there's someone holding from inside of the hallway area there, just waiting for someone to come up the stairs, is able to collect the life of Nui. That's Flipper, another kill on the board for them, who's already on 4-1 after only 3 rounds. Or should I say 6-1, triple kill on the round for Fleeks there, and gets a little bit of a team kill kind of situation going on there, but shuts it out with the 4K, with the final shot there on a double kill on the Jaeger in front.
Oh, it was a technical kill. But that, in saying that, defenders have finally pulled away. This is where the match opens.
Yeah.
Guaranteed 3 rounds in the split is exactly what AF are looking for in this, and that is exactly what they've gained. it's going to be a lot of pressure on Unlimited here to try and even pick up these next 2 rounds. As you know, that was a pretty defeating round, as they didn't exactly feel they didn't know of the presence in the top of the map into Geisha, into the karaoke room, and it looked like the Zero was just a deer in the headlight when he tried walking into the kitchen, which is not exactly ideal. So that could be a lack of information, lack of drones. It's strange to see that lack of information coming out from Unlimited, really, with the Zero on board. You have all those drones, and I'm pretty sure they had Eon at the time as well. You know, it's a strange one.
Yeah, now I can't actually confirm that, yes, the Jaeger did die, but it wasn't a team kill. It was actually a kill that went to the attacker side there. I can't remember who it was in the last remaining alive attacker there, but Flipper acted as a human shield there in front of Fleeks, just ran across at the exact right time. Took a little bit of bullets from Fleeks, but eventually died.
Bullet sponge.
Yeah, so that's always nice when your teammate does that for you, sacrifices their life so you can get yourself onto 7 kills in 4 rounds, should I say.
Still no. Minute 48 on the clock. They push from the attackers. They're just going to try to establish their foothold in the map, get themselves established, figure out where they're going, what they're going to try and plan to do. And hopefully we actually see a top floor take coming out from the attackers this time, as last time. Personally, I believe not going for that top floor did hinder their round an awful amount, as the Zero looked blinded by surprise with that player above. So this time, looks like going for a hard top floor take first, which is exactly what the side Unlimited are going to need. And if they can achieve this within the next minute and a half, Sham, this round could be pretty much the attackers.
Yeah, well, you say that, but they do need to start getting some action going on here, because they're not even inside the map, and it's been a minute already. They've just been all of them have been outside. They've opened a wall. That's the most they've been able to get. They've opened this one murder hole into that wall, into office there. That's it. All 5 members are all pushing from the same side. They're all coming from the east side, trying to get the office take. Though a little bit of damage done on his sticks there as Reclay holds this angle from Exhibition onto the window, waiting for the hop in, which does come. The Iana will oblige and will immediately give that kill straight to the Reclay, as Force is the one that's shut down there. Not quite paying attention to the fact there's someone on that angle there, but a nice angle being held here from Nui through the soft wall behind that bar area into the back of the head of Reclay. And it's a 4 versus 4 situation, so immediately reflagged there. Or reflagged? Reflagged. Ours are quite difficult in Scottish accent sometimes, so, as I have pointed out a couple of times on cast here. Flipper though has came back to the restaurant stairs, and now they're slowly just fading back to the site. The C4 in hand here. Navenlo's going to find Nui as well, and now it's a 4 versus 3 situation in favour of the defenders now. But swinging over this breach area here is Sticks to try and find someone behind that statue, but can't quite find anyone there. Doesn't actually realise there's someone so close, and they're actually still fading slowly backwards here. You can see the Tachanka flame coming down there, and Fleeks is able to go. It's actually, no, I was about to say it's Fleeks, but it's actually Flipper, sorry, that's going for the rotate. Fleeks is able to get the kill. Sticks is now able to get at least 1 back for the attackers onto Naven there, and Sticks and Fragger left in a 2 versus 3 situation, which isn't too dire. They do have some utility available to them. They do have the Nomad there, and a head is spotted there, but not quite able to thread that shot, and Cyber now to shut down Sticks. Final kill there for Flipper, comes out from behind the shield, pops up and shuts down Fragger, and that is 4 rounds in a row from, well, I think it's 3 rounds in a row actually. From AF there on their defense.
Defenders slowly pulling it further and further from the attacker's grasp, and that is not exactly what we wanted to see in this matchup. We wanted a bit, bit of fight and a bit of oomph into the action, but that's not exactly what we're going to see. It's guaranteed a 4-2, or guaranteed 4-round split for the side of AF, which on the defense side of map, you really want that. You don't want any less than 4 rounds. 3-3, hard push, but 4-2 split is the absolute ideal situation for AF into this situation. And honestly, with this pace that they're keeping up in these rounds, I can easily see a 5-1 split coming out here for AF. Well,
that's what I'm feeling, to be honest. Unlimited just hasn't looked convincing at all in the attack, to be honest. It's not even, to their discredit, to be honest. It's actually more to the credit of AF. The defense was great there. They held on the office. They rotated the push. There was only 2 or 3 members actually in office at the start of that round, and then once they realised that all 5 members of Unlimited were going to be coming from that side, they rotated everyone round there. There was 4 people round waiting for the push to come, and then they just slowly but surely edged their way back, got some picks, wasted some time, and eventually got down to 30 seconds, and people weren't even anywhere near the site. So it was a really good defense.
The defenses from AF have been absolutely on point for pretty much every round we've seen. the round that AF have lost, I don't think that was their defense at the hindrance. Their defense on that round was still pretty much immaculate, like we're seeing now. It's just it looked like they got a little bit overwhelmed by Unlimited at the time. But now they've adapted. Actually, I don't know if we pointed it out. There was the round where it was the round after the first loss in Office. The second round they brought the mirror out, and the mirror worked an absolute treat. Slowed down Unlimited an absolute major amount, and it definitely worked a major credit into the round for them. That's going to be the Buck taken down early on, and that is definitely Albert. You don't want to lose that early on. Again, Buck, he's not the most for this kind of attack that we're going to need to see. Still, you're losing a person this early on. It's not ideal, Sean. It's not ideal at all.
Yeah, certainly isn't there. They were just doing some vertical work below the Azami, and they obviously got the call that there was a player down there doing that kind of work to get them. You can see it just in here, inside drums, is where exactly it was happening. The Buck was below, and then Flipper was there to capitalise on the information, just waiting for someone to come through that doorway. Still on that doorway, by the way, waiting for someone just to come round and make the same mistake as what Styx had made. Now, Force has got himself in a cheeky little position here, just using that knock just to creep up the stairways and gets this link in between the defence here and their flank down. Fleeks is going to still hold onto that door. They seem to be adamant someone's going to do this, and you can see the outline of Nomad slowly edging towards it and into the line of... Fleeks is there waiting for it, but it's Fragger that comes out on top and stays true to their name now. 3 versus 4 situation. Flipper, Cyber, and Naven left in that situation now inside. They are 1 minute left on their defense before we head on to their attack. Force though, just using a nade there just to get rid of that barbed wire, and that's to their detriment because someone's just flanked up behind, and it's Naven to get the final pick there onto them. I think it was actually Flipper that got the down, but it was Naven to finish off, and it's a 3 versus 3 situation now. Breach is open though, and Flipper out there for the triple kill. I knew he was going to find Flipper though in the immediate refrag, and it's a 2 versus 2 now with 40 seconds left on the clock. Fragger has to hop outside to go for the rotate round, and just going to go around to the vents area, hop in there and see if they can get in this main breach where New has been being peppered by these shots from the Mira, but gets the down on his Cyber. I don't actually know if they'll know that the down has happened. Look at the yellow pings here. The information is clearly being fed. They have the info though, and they're going for this revive here. Naven is able to get them up, but crosses out there, swings out and gets Fragger, takes them down. It's a 1 versus 2 situation, and somehow AF are able to hold on here. Double kill for Nui, but Cyber's there for the shutdown, and the defenders go 5-1 on that defense. Alpha and Finsting having an absolutely wonderful time on Skyscraper.
That last round was an absolute heartstopper, as it was refrag after refrag. Honest, that round could have gone so many different ways than what we did see. Absolutely amazing coming out from the side of Unlimited, finally finding that bark instead of, finding the fight instead of the bark, I should say. And it's the answer that they need. It's a little bit too late, personally, for them to try and come back out with this fight. But their defense is just beginning, so this is where the interesting bits of this matchup are going to happen. As I'll reiterate, as I've said before, this is a very defense-sided map. We see 54% to 45%. So definitely going to be an interesting one.
Yep. Like I say, this is one of my first times. Well, I think it's like my 3rd time casting Skyscraper. I haven't casted a lot of Skyscraper. I think teams are actually kind of scared to use it. Just because it didn't have the greatest reputation when it got reworked, and I think it's still I think it's a good map. I think it is pretty decent, but it's still not one of the maps where I would say is a hard pick for the console community, if I'm totally honest.
I'm going to be honest, this is my first time casting Skyscraper ever, so this is one of my casts is a bit bouncy, a bit rough.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely not one of my not definitely one of my best. Probably it's one of those ones that will be hidden into the archives for a long time, because who wants to see this again? But AO, when I get into it, round has started. We'll just have to wait and see what is going to come into this round, as the side of the Limited are now on the defense, and this is where AF are going to really be put under the pressure, as attacking on this map can be quite overwhelming, as there are so many different angles. This is a very, very soft map. It's a bit like Favela, all the soft walls that are in this map can make it quite difficult for an attack to be done without you getting shot in the back or just wall banged or caught in these pincer motions that the side of the defense would like to bring.
bottom floor take here as Fleeks is able to find Becker from below with a cooked nade sent up through the floorboards there. You can see still trying to do exactly the same thing, send another nade up and see if they can get anyone else. Now, there is someone potentially lurking about that staircase, just thinking about going down. And Flipper's held this angle the entire time. 2 minutes they've held it. The only time they've come off the angle is to toss these nades and cook them, see if they can get anyone else. Cyber is also cooking a nade as we speak. Sends it up through the floor as well. Fleeks will take quite a bit of damage on the attack here. That's the sledge taking some there. Still sending up more of these nades from below, the vertical nades, and you can see the staircase. The outline is there for the Jaeger. It's Fragger that's kind of teased it a couple of times to go down that staircase, but will be met with the Ayana who's holding that angle there. Force is going to find Fleeks on that window over towards the Geisha side on the rappel. Is able to get himself the situation back in to control. 4 versus 4 now. Reclay takes a little bit of damage downstairs as well. And now as a push up here as Naven is sitting behind this shield, got himself into the hallway at the end there, but the impact will come out from the Azami, and somehow they're able to escape with their life. Naven here. Flipper though finds Fragger at the same time as the action unfolds at the top of the staircase in the hallway here. But a swing comes out from the Azami who gets one but not a second when the Cyber puts them down, and Flipper though is to close out their round, and the attackers of Alpenfinstein take the round, who are just seem to be dominating now. 6-1 match point. It's looking pretty dire for Unlimited, to be honest.
Unlimited they're not looking like they have unlimited lives anymore. We're on 6-1, you know. They're not looking too fiery. A little bit of a pun. Maybe it might be intended, who knows. They're not looking the best right now though. You know. Down 6-1, match point. This is where the pressure is definitely on for the side of Unlimited, and they're really going to have to start putting away to try and get this round. Even some of these rounds back into order. It's not unusual that we could see a comeback. It's only 5 rounds. If they take it one by one, it's easily manageable. But it's definitely going to be a large for to try and bring it out.
Yep, it is certainly not looking too good for Unlimited. Now we did say, we did want to see some overtime, but it's looking increasingly unlikely for this matchup here because Unlimited got that opening round, and since then it has just been all but downhill from them as AF are able to run away with it. Fleeks having a Stormer, Flipper also having a Stormer. Both of them are edging onto those double kill count areas as we speak. Fleeks is just on 9 at the minute, waiting for one more to edge out their teammate who's on 10 at this moment in time. But we'll see what this particular round has in for us, because it's Office, which I think is probably is the strongest site, to be honest. What about you? Do you think?
It's definitely one of the strongest sites, especially if you send over into T. You can have one of the strongest holds in the game, 100%. But it's only if it's not executed properly, like absolutely immaculate by the defenders. The attackers can pick so many different holds with all those soft holds. It can become an absolute nightmare to hold if it's not done correctly, and that will only just stand the test of time as the attackers of AF are going to try to get into the map now. As those castle barricades are going to be there to greet them though. Could stun them a little, just a slight bit, but those nades on the honor here are going to rip those down. And Victor's no ADS blocking the castles, and this could, once these get popped, the action could start very, very soon, as there is a good few players kind of stacked up around this area. So it's definitely going to be a war zone. This does unfold. There's not much happening right now. It's just a bit of stalemate. The castles got popped. You know, we saw a few can openers being used. That's about it. There's not a whole lot happening right now, though.
Yep, there seems to be action unfolding now, though, as the push now came to shove, as Nui is there to stop that from happening, though. Fleeks hops through one of those holes that were made in that wall outside the T, but is able to shut them down as they're coming through. Maru now, of course, pushing up here. Flipper is pushing all the way up towards the drum area. Well, trying to push up to the drum area now. Just can't quite get out that breach there because they've got all the way up to T. They've cleared quite well. They were in the map within inside 20 seconds of the round. 5 versus 3 though, as Nui going to get another one on the round onto Cyber here. And is this the fight back that we're going to see? Nui with the 1.5 hopefully is able to bring it into at least a bit more contention for Unlimited here, as Reclay is coming through Shrine. And the mirror even spoke about the setup that the attackers brought here. They brought in Lion and the Amaru at the same time, coupled with the Ayana, Buck and Osa as well, which is a pretty wild setup to be bringing out with this one. It's almost like they're just feeling the aggression. They want to make these defenders try and squirm around and move around the map and stuff like that, which has happened, but Nuya has just played straight into it, moving around, got himself the double. The hunt is coming through here from Marikle though, who hasn't quite found anyone yet, but a couple of bits of damage is done on to Force though, and now it's a 4 versus 3, and suddenly just like that it collapses to a 3 versus 3. The push is coming in here. A Flipper from below coming up through the hatch to try and find another surprise. Hello, how about you? You're dead. Fragger is in the dirt. The Amaru is able to get himself a double and shuts it down. That's 7-1 for Alpenfencing. They're able to take the win so convincingly. Cheeky Amaru play at the end there. Beautifully done. You love to see it, but what a game. That is it.
That was definitely a very lackluster game compared to what we saw at the very start of the round. Definitely a lackluster one, to say the least. Thought it was going to be closer. I wasn't really expecting a 7-1 coming out from that, but Unlimited just looked like they didn't have the unlimited power that they needed for that matchup.
Yeah, I think that 7-1 came out of nowhere, to be honest, right to start with. It just was like, yeah, first round, great kind of wee rush, ideal. And then the second round, it didn't seem like there was too much in it. And then the third round was where it started to get a bit ropey, and then from there, it just collapsed completely in. They looked so convincing there, AF. They were wonderful to watch. They were playing together. The cohesion was great. They seemed to have the strats. They showed actually quite a bit of strats in terms of you've seen quite a bit of a hold on the top floor, angles being created, all sorts of different stuff that they showed us. So I was quite surprised to see quite in-depth kind of plays coming out from. But then again, they are up against the wall here. They did need the points tonight. They were on 0 points after 2 games, so they needed that win. That'll take them up onto 3 points and at least brings them within touching distance of the top 4 for now, until the games that we have later on this evening. Unlimited still remain on that 0 points, but we are finished for the first game. There is another couple of games to follow as well. Of course, we've already went over the schedule. PBX Esports versus Molotov Gang will be up next. Now that's Molotov Gang, that's the German one. We do have a UK version as well, playing in the same league. They will be up next. Now they're scheduled to start in half an hour's time. It's unlikely that they will start earlier than that. We'll have a little bit of a discussion again just now about the kind of groups and stuff like that, to kind of go over what's happening with them and stuff, just to give you guys an update, and then we'll move into the next match. But there will be quite a bit of break because that was a very quick match, to be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely, not as long as we were expecting. The first couple of rounds, they kind of had us in the first half. They sold it to us then in the second.
Yeah, started okay, and then just a very, very quick descent, to be honest. Loved the Amaru play at the end though as well. That was a lovely little double kill to finish it off as well.
That definitely could have gone a bit ropey as the Jaeger was just getting a bit to turn around.
Yeah.
But the Amaru's shots were just there. Jaeger was put in the dirt, and there was actually a little bit of a team kill there. I don't think we spotted that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a team kill onto the castle. Not ideal. And just that's all she wrote for that game.
Yep, first game over. Quick and simple. Like I say, half an hour till the start of the next one, which will be PBX Esports versus Molotov Gang, and then we'll finish off our evening with Villains versus Night Wolves now. I'm excited to see Villains play. I watched them play last week and they were wonderful. They have got 6 points so far in the groups from 2 games, so that's all the points they've been able to get. So I'm hoping that's going to be an exciting game. And I'm also just waiting for PBX to get up and running. They do have a delayed game, so they've only played 1 game, so they are at the moment, which they lost. And so they're on 0 points as they stand. And hopefully we can get them up and running. On Molotov Gang, they're on 6 points just now after 2 wins in the first opening 2 weeks. But that's going to be it for the first game. Don't go anywhere though. We will be back just shortly with the second game of the evening. Go and, of course, get yourself a snack or a drink or anything like that, and then pop back and see us, which will be in about half an hour's time. If we do start earlier, we will update you in the Twitch chat, but the time is set for 9:15 as we stand. That's Central Eastern Time, of course, 8:15 if you're in the UK or anything like that that uses GMT. But we will see you shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back to the ESA Cup. It's been well over 25 minutes since we left you, and we've pulled things forward a little bit. It's been 5 minutes, but it's not much difference to be honest, but we put it forward a little bit just so that we can get things underway. We did finish a little bit earlier on the last stream, the last game, so we are pretty much going to get underway with the next game, which, by the way, if you're interested, is PBX versus MVG. Now, that's the German roster of MVG. Molotov Gaming, or Molotov Gang even, if you want to get their full name. But they are pretty much all ready to go. Arya is going to be so kind as to run us through the map bans and see where we're visiting for this next match.
Right, as you can see on your screen, we're heading to the beautiful map Cafe Dostoevsky. This map, statistically, of course, as always, I'm the person that's coming at you with these mind-boggling stats, because who likes hearing stats? I do, so you have to do. So we're looking at Cafe Dostoevsky. We've seen only 15 rounds of it played. 8 rounds of those went to the attackers, and 7 were defender wins. So that's leaving us at about 53 to 46% range, which, you know, it's a toss-up. It's a very, it's almost a 50-50. Close enough. So this could be definitely a very dicey matchup for these two teams. So it's going to be interesting as we want to hop in here into the bandit phase. What operator are you expecting to see taken away here, Sham? What would you be so kind and expecting?
Jackal, maybe?
It's going to be the Ying.
Yeah.
We're both wrong. Ying, again, with what we've seen in the SI so far, taking away a Ying. I don't think anyone here is going to be surprised. If we're going to come out here, I'm going to put my life on the line here and say we're going to see a Nook ban. But I could be wrong. That's going to be an ace.
Twice in a row.
That is going to be an odd one. That is definitely a strange ban to see coming out, to say the least. It's definitely not the most default, to say the least. But anyways, we're going to get defense. I'm going to say a Valkyrie, maybe the Mirror. Just have to wait and see. Could be Solus either. That's going to be the Izami taken away. Again, that's the standard enough ban for Cafe. Makes Cigar a lot easier to hold.
Yeah, it's certainly will. I'm gonna throw out one more just because I want to make sure that we're wrong on all 4 of them. I'm gonna say Mira's the next ban because we've been wrong on every single one so far.
I'm gonna throw us with the Cade. I'm gonna go for a safe and solid option of Cade. Who doesn't like ban?
Yeah, of course, that's it. Yeah. Of course it is. Of course, not a single ban correct there from the wonderful dynamic queer duo here, who are pretty seasoned in Cafe, I think. And not a single one of them I would have predicted. Valk is the only one I think there I would have said that I could see being banned away, to be honest.
Honestly, I don't know why I didn't come out with the Izami. Izami's such a strong operator on this map.
Yep.
That is, I feel disappointed myself for not getting the Izami pick, but Ayo, again, looking at the attacker lineup, there's nothing unusual here. We're going to see the Florist taking away that utility, because castle barricades are being brought. Again, new jammers are going to slow them Florist drones down a little, but not going to be the most, interesting one to see. And again, as I said on the map stats, it's very much a toss-up in this match as it is 50%.
I do apologise if you're hearing a little bit of interference there. I think the area is having some technical difficulties. We'll get those ironed out in just a moment for you. But for the time being, we are seeing a cocktail lounge hold on the top flare, of course. Now, usually there is... I do apologise again, actually. We're having some more technical issues. There's some ping issues on our end. I will very quickly just get those ironed out, and then we will revisit this in a second. I think that we might have to restart this round, which is okay. I think usually they have to leave. Would have to leave. 2 seconds. I will have a look for you.
Are we back, Sean? Am I here? Am I existing?
They seem to just be playing out the round, which is the puzzling point, because they have actually raised this as an issue. There is ping issues, basically. You can see that a couple of them are reaching 100 there. They've seemed to have ironed out a little bit. It was maybe just a server spike there, so I think it might be back again. I believe I can hear you being back as well. It may be just an internet issue on my end, actually.
I hope that could have been your issue, could be my issue.
Yes.
Didn't expect.
Well, you're back. You're back. They didn't leave the game anyway, so...
That's nice spice to this bit of our cast. Always something on. That's a bit of spice to it.
Yes.
As I say, that second engagement actually going to take it. Here's a pistol shot. He's going to find out on that player, but he's going to be immediately refragged out from the Yana on the rappel. It's trades after trades after trades for this matchup. First, we didn't really get to see the first frag, I don't think, but those past 2 frags got to see the Jaeger take out 1 and then get immediately refragged.
Yes, just a very quick apology there for anyone in chat who is watching. There was just a little bit of server spike, I guess, at the start of the round there, but it's still kind of evening out a little bit, so we may still have to rehost, but we will just continue as we are at the moment. It's a 3 versus 4 situation with PBX in that deficit there. They are again on the attack. We've got the Flores in tow. We do have Ayana as well, and the Buck at the same time. Jouet now inside of Cocktail Lounge knows there's someone on that window. Is just going to wait, see if someone shows a head. You can see they're inches away from it. The head does appear though, and boop, that will be deleted out of the round there. Casey's the one that suffers the fate most unwelcome there, courtesy of the UMP 45, and it's 1.5 sight. Sion here inside of Cigar Shop is joined by Fusco on the other side as well. Going up for the push, goes to take the engagement. Just ran up there, decided to melee that window, make sure that no one had an angle on a push from them. But look at the swing from that. Beautifully played there from Bocho there, who was able to actually melee off the window, shuts down the Mira window possibility, opens it, and then just pings it from behind, not expecting them to actually be on the other side. It was beautifully done there. Well, that nice wee double kill there.
And as we said, defenders take the very first round. And that goes into the hands of MVG. And have the pings settled down? Are we going to rehost? What's happening? Do we know?
No, they're just discussing it at the moment. I am very quickly going to go away and see if we can get this resolved in the background. We'll be back with you just shortly. It shall not be long. Thank you for waiting. Hello all and welcome back. I do apologise for that brief delay there while we were off stream. There was unfortunately some server issues which are still a little bit rampant in the moment. Some players are having a little bit of issue, and myself as the host as well, I'm having a little issue just with the spectating. It's a little bit laggy, can only apologise in some spaces, but it's either this or nothing unfortunately, because we've managed to isolate it, and there are multiple reports as well that it is to do with the server issues. So yeah, it's not anything that can be helped. So we're going to try and play this out, and hopefully we can successfully get this, and at least get one of the games done. I'm not sure about how this will affect the last game, but we'll at least get this one done. Now, just a reminder, it is PBX versus MVG, and that is the German roster of MVG. And the first round went to the side of MVG. Second round also, which was done off stream, was also a defender round as well towards MVG as well. They were able to win that. There was a quad kill in the round actually from ESA who was able to get that. But yeah, we're going to get underway with this one. So
let's get back into the action.
Yes, and action there is. Bocho takes a little bit of damage inside of bar. That was from, I believe, inside of the cocktail cigar area. Jouet, though, is going to be taking the first pick on this round, at least anyway. That's Tricks that shut down there on the fuse. Interestingly enough, who brought that one along for the party, which there will be no party. But look at this, hold on to the hatch there. Xe is able to get Quinn off of the board now. 2 versus 5 situation. Jouet is able to find Fusco, and a long shot there through towards heaven there. Jouet also finds a triple kill on in the round, and KZ is able to get Xe shut down on that hatch area. Now it's a 1 versus 4 situation. Jouet, though, will be feeling themselves and be wanting to come to the top floor to get themselves a kill, and a C4 is setting up through the skyscraper, the skylight even, and is able to collect the life of the jackal. Still got skyscraper in the mind from the last map, but it is cafe.
Hope. Oh, tactical timeout. What? Have we? Because I'm not looking at Discord right now, so I want to be my eyes.
I will tell you any moment. So that is the blue team at the moment, which is PBX, that are taking the timeout. If you can't tell that from the stream, they're taking a timeout for a moment. They are under the caution a little bit, so it's 3-0 already in favour of MVG. Now there are server issues, so whether they are related to the server or not, but is what we need to establish. So they haven't requested any pause, they haven't requested any rehosts or anything of the sort. They have just taken their timeout, so maybe they are genuinely just taking a timeout because they know that they're 3 rounds down and they need to get their selves in gear.
Hopefully servers can, withhold themselves for even, to get this game done. But we will just have to wait and see, Sham. Let's just wait and see.
We certainly will.
We haven't discussed the picks too much actually. It's back to bar and cocktail. They won it the first time. They have it reopened, and they will be revisiting the same site that they
were so convincing on with the Mira, by the way, and it was Bocho that played behind the Mira and had a wonderful double kill from that position, using their Siege tactical brain to open up that Mira window and then pop out from behind to get themselves a double. But it looks like the same setup is pretty much what's going to be happening on this top floor.
White Apes top rope, White Apes on the same thing. Not really and it looks like we'll see a pretty much similar mirror setup, because I think we'll just punch holes, not both of them. That's a slight little like the same setup as last time. Done as a big 10, as we both said. Did the job, we got the job done. Right? Why change it?
So, top floor hold. And they're just starting the push now from the west side. Diana leading away alongside the knock. And there is pressure to be met. There is resistance inside there. The nade is cooked, it is tossed, and it is delivered, but it doesn't land anything at all. A head is spotted there, but Fusco is the one that comes out worse for wear. Shut down courtesy of the knock and the FMG9, which is sent straight in another skull. Hoping the pick goes towards PBX. And now they start to sweep through this map on this bottom floor. The push comes through with the C4 that we can hear getting tossed out from somewhere, but I don't actually know where that has been popped out there. But down comes out though. Zello is able to get KZ on the back stairs there, coming up the white staircase, and is able to get at least one back for the side of MVG. Brings it into a 4 versus 4 scenario, and now things are nice and even throughout this 2 minutes that we have left on this round.
It's pretty much a stalemate now at the moment, as you know, both clubs try to get a bit of engagement of the pillar prone on white stairs, but no shots are going to be landed on either side. I don't think actually they're aware of Zello prone here on this stairs with a shotgun. This would not be a very welcome match for them if they do approach up the stairs. But again, as I've said, it's pretty much a stalemate. The vertical's going to get open, Zello on the stairs. It's close to one of the players that's inside of laundry. And there are so many players so close to each other right here. This could be an absolute bloodbath if any player moves even a step out of the line here. No blood sake. That shotgun is out very, very, very shortly. Last thing to go and happen is that one true fright in favour of the castle. And that's going to be Duet taking down one player. And that shotgun is not going to find its marker. To Chambry here. And white connection is dying.
Yes, I can certainly hear you start to go a little bit there as the jitters come through. From just a server issue, it seems to be the issue tonight. Trix though pushes up towards Bar, doesn't seem to be phased by anything at all though, finds the mirror side of Freezer and is immediately put in the dirt because of it, and Quinn though is also shut down, but the rotate comes through from Phantom, gets a double kill on the round, and Zello to finish it off onto Quinn, and the defenders are able to take their 4th in a row, and this time it's Cocktail for the 2nd time that they are able to take on this Cafe defense.
Again, a very convincing Cocktail hold. You know, we didn't have as an explosive Cocktail hold as we saw round number 1, but still, nonetheless, it was convincing, and it got the round on the board for the side of MVG, as they are now 4-0. They're up 4 rounds. They're in the ideal position for a Cafe defense. You know, you don't want to be less than 4 rounds on Cafe defense, let's be real. 4-2, perfect. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Cafe's a hard attack. It is one of the hardest to attack because of the fact that it's 4 floors and you have to be pushing all the way down through that, clear down every single floor and make sure everything's fine. And I think that I just remember it's actually 3 floors on the floor. 1, 2, 3.
Well, I mean, it's technically a ground floor and then 1 and 2. So
yeah, it always catches me off guard the way that things are labelled in the game and not the 1F and the ground floor thing difference.
This is Ubisoft. If they can't keep servers, how do we expect them to label floors?
Well, this is just the American way to label it. This is the European way to label it as ground floors. So, yeah. I don't even think that's European. I think it may just be the UK. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point. Back to the game at hand. We're on the bottom floor. We're going to Bakery. We're going into the 5th round now. 4 rounds flush for the defensive side of MVG. Although there are some server issues, although there are some lag happening for us on our end, it doesn't seem to be affecting the players too much. So we are just going to march on and continue with this matchup.
Going to push it on, grind on through. You know, casting, getting that grinding cast in. You know, to show how much I'm to show what's more. We say that though, that door is going to get open, it's like a pop. That much is going to make his way all the way in and just get right up in the face there of the Jaeger. That shield's going to get dropped. If they hit with any damage, still is going to resume. That Monty's going to cause an absolute major bit of hassle here, as it's going to be actually Monty takes them. Is that to show that damage which came? That's that. So we say that. You didn't. I've said that's nice. That will land smack to the head, the land of the ESA Cup. That's going to be IQ finding another up. And that's going to be finding all back in a 3-verse situation here. Left then. 2 go to 2 players now. Open up.
I'm going to have to re-listen to that round there because you're breaking up quite consistently, but I need to make sure that it's not an issue with the stream or something. So let me have a look.
What's going on? Something was, I don't know. My internet seems to be perfect, so all the game being laggy, I don't know. Is what it is.
Let me figure this out.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Bomb located by attackers.
Chambray is one of the background. Let's just analyze here as we see the kitchen being played. And you have a standard, pretty much attack and defense line. You have your castle, you have your one might, your mute, your smoke, and your Jaeger. You can, it's perfect. Maybe, there's not that many rolls on the side of PBX, so you don't really need the Jaeger combo. But again, as your zombie's taken off the board, you gotta fill that gap somehow, and who's better to do that than happen. So look, the Monty's going to be played again. Faster IQ, Nomad and Thermite, all previous. So IQ not getting the most value from the gadget as there is no valve on the board. Yeah, as she is actually banned out. The IQ focused advantage, but still will be of some use to find those ADSs, those little 1i discs, and those mute jammers and all those in between. Still though, that main bigger door should get popped open pretty soon, and what's going to make a push. But you could potentially see a rush here to the player that's in a small leg. And that recharge going to castle. Bit of a beat actually to the here as it's going to be the player of the Romantis taken down. A little bit of damage taken onto the market, good enough to take him down, as this Jaeger is going to be well aware and he should be flushed out very soon. If he wanted to land shots. As that Jaeger is now flushed. Any issues, Sham?
Yes, a little bit. So your mic seems to be breaking up a little bit. I don't know what's the issue. The stream is absolutely perfect. My mic's coming up fine. The stream's going out perfectly. So I don't know what the issue actually is. I don't know how we're getting server issues, and you're as well getting some issues with your mic, but we're just going to continue with this round now, and then we'll discuss it after the round and see if we get sorted. Phantom's under pressure inside of Kitchen, though, finds an SMG shot, and it will find the life of Trix, though. Botcho is also finding Quinn at the same time. That's the Monty at least dealt with, so the focal point of the attack is at least beaten back a little bit. Bakery, though, will now be occupied by Sion, who's going for the rotate all the way around, though. Knows there's one that potentially around that double door, and the Wamai swings out, does quite a bit of damage onto Sion, but Fusco is inside of sight there, popping off, finds a triple kill inside there, but the quad pops up from behind. Zello is shut down, and Sion with the final one on the Phantom. A beautiful quad there, just marginally caught that on stream, and it was wonderfully done there, flicked up the top there. Beautiful stuff. And 7 rounds we are now managed to eat into this, so at least the players are having a time. It might not be the greatest in terms of the stream, so we do apologise. In terms of the quality of the stream, there is some issues with the server, as well as some issues on our end as well in terms of technical things, but we will just march on because the players do want to continue this, and we might as well cover it at the same time. So we might as well be here, might as well for you guys to watch at least.
Might as well exist.
Exactly. And then once the game's done, if there's still further issues, we'll either delay the next game or cancel or reschedule with that one. But because this game's in full swing, 4-2, the players aren't being affected, they haven't raised any concerns, so we'll just continue on with this. And I will rudely interrupt Arya if there's any lag issues with your mic.
We know there probably will, until I can figure out how to get this sorted. So let's soldier on, get this game done, and then we, in our preparation for next map or for game number 3, we can sort all our technicals. Until then, it's time for casting.
Yeah, it seems to sound fine now, but it just seems to come and go. It's a bit strange. But like I say, there's no issues with the stream, there's no issues with my mic, there's no issues with anything, so it's not an internet. I would have just chalked it up to being an internet issue for me, but it's not, so it's weird.
Because everything else is coming through, it's just the game is like that server issue, that's not my end issue, so it's,
Yeah, that doesn't explain how your mic though is issue. I have an issue, so that's why I'm a little bit puzzled.
But again, we can fix this before map number 3. We will just storm on and get this game over and done with. We'll see if there's a captain on the board though, Sham. Could be an interesting one. Anyone going to die to the ED? Predictions?
Yeah, well, Captain's seen him quite a resurgence over the last kind of couple months, addition to the 1.5. Of course, a freebie just straight up the backside of Duet there, who was just not paying attention to the fact that Fusco was floating around that doorway and no one was there in the coverage. There are 2 members outside, so someone's made the mistake of not covering that bottom white area and not paying attention while the Jackal of Duet was on that window on the rappel there. Unfortunate there, but that is unfortunately the way it works on Cafe, as 5-3 now in the favour of PBX on their defense. Tricks this time to take XA off the board. Now, of course, that was the Amaru that was shut down, which we didn't quite have time to discuss, but the Amaru's likely just sent themselves into the mix and not being able to get anything from it, because the Pulse has been there to deal with it. Tricks is the one that's just in a little back-to-back here with the Thermite, who is upside down repelled onto this back alley window as they wait for someone to potentially swing out, which the Tootsie is spotted there. That's a toe, by the way. You can start to spray that a little bit. Well, Trix is going to take a little bit of damage. Phantom there just taking a little bit. Wow, what a shot that's going to be there. Trix is not actually aware of the fact that there is still someone. But look again, the highlight there, the upside down repel. Not enough to come out on top versus Sion, who had that reverse angle. Pops a couple of shots up through the gap in the floorboards and is able to take the Thermite of Phantom straight out of the round. Now, Bocho and Zello left in the 2 versus, well, that's a 1 versus 4 situation now, as KZ's actually so kind enough to send a C4 straight into the face of Bocho and take that Nomad down. Now, final part here, little hole in the ground there, and Zello is able to get a trade at least, a little consolation, but finally, something from the life of MVG there.
MVG just looking to have
PBX.
just communication issues. MVG just coming, losing your Jackal at all. I think that was Duet very early on. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
From an open angle, Capcom was just allowed walk there, get a freebie, walk away, no refrag. That is a major communication issue, as that garage door, or garage wall, I should say, was open. There should have been someone at least watching that to make sure that Duet was safe to some degree at least, but no refrag even gained. Major red flag there for this side of MVG. Not sure what went wrong.
Yeah, well, first round on attack. Again, Cafe is a hard map to attack because it requires so much coordination. There's so much map coverage that you need to take, and generally there's just so many roamers. I mean, the Pulse was upstairs, it was in the middle floor, it was round and round the ring of roses, and that's just the way the cookie does tend to crumble on Cafe, and teams struggle when they're on that attack. So hopefully we can see some improvement on someone's attack, because someone's going to have to start winning them at some point. It's not all going to be defense. Someone has to win. Someone has to win an attack. That is statistically the way that the game has to go at some point.
I mean, technically, not the case.
Someone has to win an attack if they want to win the game.
They can keep going back and forth though.
Well,
defense,
we've already seen it. Well, the thing, well, I say that, okay. From now on, they don't need to win an attack. Technically, PBX have already won their attacks. It's MVG that have to win an attack if they want to win that game. Is the correct analysis there? I should be more clear.
I have a quick update for Cham. Not only have we got server lag, me lagging. Now my brain is also lagging because I just completely lost, I think, everything brains that I had there for a second. I just didn't calculate right. Love to see it.
It's there's multiple repels here on the southwest side. Of course, it's a top floor defense now for MVG, who are holed up inside the cocktail and the lounge area. Now you can see that Pixel Shield, of course. Pixel, for those of you in the chat that don't know what Pixel is, this is called Pixel here. Sometimes called the White Corner or Shield Corner, whatever you want to call it. There's lots of different names for it. But Pixel's the most common name here. Play behind the shield. Sponge as much of that utility as possible. Get rid of the drones. And just dedicate as much time as possible. You see these my magnets getting sent out. Making sure that there are so many avenues to cover all of these projectiles that are sent in. Usually the nades, usually Zavia, stuff like that. But there isn't anything like that on the board, actually. That's actually the mistake that MVG have made. They don't actually have anything at all across all 5 ops that can actually deal with the shield. They don't have any explosives whatsoever, so that is going to be to their detriment. I don't think they were prepared for this to be the top floor, and let's just hope that they've got something up their sleeves to actually bring us back in. Minute though left on the clock, and there's still not been any engagements at all. Phantom did take a little bit of damage up through the hatch, but other than that, there's not been anything. And just as we say that, Sion is able to open up the scoreboard on the EXO there, but it's actually Zello to get another one. Immediately balances out the books, and that's Sion there with the immediate refrag taken down. Bocho finds another onto Trix this time, just pops up that white staircase, and is actually able to catch Thorn from behind. And now they push begins up this white staircase. If they don't have anything to deal with the shields, they will just brute force it past them instead, and Fusco is able to find Phantom. 3 versus 3 situation now, as Bocho just holds on to this flank, waits for someone to come around, and it almost is caught out shooting up my magnet, but the double flick comes out, but Zello is able to find Fusco and Quinn, and Duet is able to find the final pick onto KZ, and we said it before, someone had to win an attack, and MVG do just that. After the back of what was a pretty terrible attack the first time, they iron out the kinks and they're able to pick up that attacking round on a cocktail on the top floor.
And to say the least, that was a very convincing attack round. Yes. Beautiful double kill coming out from the Nomad. Double flick, as you mentioned. We'd love to see it. Those are the clips that we need, and we'd love to see. So look, once actually see the Solus played. This is the first time we've seen Solus play this match, I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong. So this could be a round changer here for the side of BBX, or it might just be another first pick as we saw in the previous matchup. So going to be a wait and see, but definitely will be a very interesting one to say the least.
It certainly will. Love to see Solus. I think they're a great operator. It's a nice change, something exciting. I do like it when an operator comes in and actually shakes up the meta. It's almost like, you know, we've seen Grim pop in last season, and I've never seen Grim picked in a single comp game, and I think they've been picked maybe once in the whole SI as it goes on, so not too impactful. Same for Sense at the same time. They were not that impactful when it happened, so it's nice when an operator comes in and actually makes an impact, and that's exactly what Solus has done. So it will be great. See what tricks they can come up with. What tricks they have up their sleeve is the joke, I believe, that we'll be looking for. If everybody, you can feel free to write that one down.
That one had me shaking in my bones. That had my bones rattling. Such
yeah,
a funny joke.
Yep, it's queued up.
That one was prepared in your inventory for the last year.
Yeah,
you've just been itching for the moment to get that one out.
Yeah, I've got a poster actually, waiting for the time that someone would be called Trixed, and I would be able to make a joke as beautiful as that.
I think, personally, we need to speak with Redden next just to kick you off the casting board for that horrendous atrocity to my ears.
Well, I hope it's not as much an atrocity as the current form that PBX find themselves in. 3-5 in a round count, and they need to start getting some consistency, as just as I say that the disappointment continues to come out as XA is able to hop up that rappel there and finds the opening pick onto an unsuspecting Fusco inside of Cigar Shop, I believe he was in. Yes, that is exactly where you can see the little icon just above that hatch. That's where the mute usually plays. That's a very common strat there, and to lose that so early on, you want to be holding on to that as long as possible, but they are not able to. Now, he's pointed out in the last round that they didn't have anything to deal with shields, and they've made that adjustment. This time they have brought in the Ash. They have that available to them, but the Ash only does only have one of the breaching charges available to them, so they must have used it on the other side here. Now, someone has hopped into Cigar Shop. I believe it is Jouet on the Buck, who's in a little bit of a stalemate, just waiting for the Warden that's on the other side that they opted to bring in as well. He's just playing below that skylight area and just getting a little bit aggressive, peeking things back and forward, and just pulls back a little bit now to get them to a little bit of safety. Zello's down at the bottom just to make a little bit of a rotate, and there is quite a bit of action happening inside of Cigar Lounge. As XA is just want to send it right across the Cigar Lounge. It's nice and wide and open, and there's so many angles to check. Where do you look in this situation? There's just so many avenues of attack that actually need to be considered, but the final one that isn't considered is the end of the white stairs, because Trixt is able to pop up there and finds the life of XA, and now Bocho's got himself downed in a sticky situation, as Trixt is again going to find another one, and we pointed out before the P90 on Solus is a wonderful gun, and Solus has been proven to be pretty impactful so far in the cafe for Trixt here. Sends out an impact nade, thinks that there's someone close on the door, but there isn't there. Goes for the swing it though, takes a little bit of damage out with Phantom, and Bocho is able to be recovered. returned to life, at least for this moment in time. 20 HP though, Duet as well, down to about 20 HP, and we'll stick with tricks to see what tricks they have up their sleeve. And there's that joke again. So brilliant wordsmith there. Sion is able to find another one. This time it is the life of, I was about to say who it was, but it's actually Quinn that's going to find Phantom as well, and Jouet though is going to find Trixed, and somehow it's actually a 2 versus 1 situation. I don't think they know where the buck is, but they do. Sion is aware that the push was coming from bathroom, and that is a round on the board for the defenders. Courtesy of the castle hiding in freezer. 5-4 now on Cafe.
The atrocity has been turned around. PBX looking a little bit stronger. Definitely coming off the back of Tricks though. Tricks definitely had some tricks up his sleeve, as you did say. You know, such a good joke. Those tricks from that Solus pulling out the stops, making the works, and bringing around into the attacker spot, or into the defender's box, I should say. Honestly, Sam, remember we were talking about that beautiful, beautiful thing called overtime?
Yeah, of course we're going to get in the laggy server.
I think we're staring down the barrel of an overtime match. Not the best time to have an overtime.
If you'd asked me this about 45 minutes ago, I would have said, yes, brilliant, amazing, can't wait. Now with some server issues, lag, I'm not as excited. I'm not as excited, not going to lie. But I am, however, still excited about the actual siege that we're seeing, because it's actually a wonderful siege. It's been great to watch.
Some of the best siege we've actually seen in some time. So, you know, we can't go wrong with seeing a lovely bit of siege. It's only when Ubisoft decides, no siege for you, and pulls out the tricks up their sleeve. Gonna bring that one up again. That is gonna be a thing. It's a drinking game for everyone in chat. Take a shot every time me or Sam or Sham say tricks up the sleeve.
Yep. I think just for that, just to make sure that we keep our viewers coherent, we're not gonna. Well, we'll no longer make the joke. We'll try to come up with a couple other ones. Can be somewhat of a wordsmith, but that's only when I'm not spectating. But we'll see. We'll see what we have inside here. Exe entered through the map into reception, and look at this. This is nice and quick, and execute comes through. Phantom's going to find one on the KZ, opens it up, and look, it's straight shot in the back there. Phantom finds another. It's actually Exe to find a double, finds a triple now, and look at this. It's all collapsed in. The knock is on the Hun. No idea where the rest of the push came from, because we had to stay with Exe to see what happened with that. But they got the 4K, and Trix decided to C4 themselves out the round. They don't want anything to do with that. I think they actually tried to maybe C4. It was accidental. Oh, I thought that was maybe on purpose, just to get themselves out of that round, but it was actually on purpose. Now, where does that leave us?
That gun barrel has slowly drifted away from our heads, and we're no longer potentially staring down an OT match.
Yep.
Who knows?
That might be one of the quickest rounds I've seen.
Yeah, that was just kind of over in a blink.
Yeah.
And my audio is really unsynced.
Yeah.
So they were all dead before I even heard the shots.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of it was silenced anyway, because the knock had the silencer on it and they got the 4K. Now, we technically stayed with the 4K, but because we stayed with the person who got the 4K, we actually missed the rest of the action. So unfortunately, we don't have 2 spectators, so we can't actually see where it all happened. But they did bring a blitz, they did charge in through prep, and that was basically it. They just sent it in through bakery. One person came in from reception, and they just pinched together, shot a couple of people in the back, and that was it. All she wrote for that round.
And that round, you know, they brought the side of EX, they brought a clash that round, and they just weren't ready to clash back to MVG. It wasn't there.
Yep, they unlock the match point, the elusive pressure point that they need to go through to get the points inside of this. That's a lot of points actually. Point. Yes, they are potentially about to get themselves a win here. They just need one round. MVG. However, hopefully PBX have something to say back. Hopefully they have an opportunity to bring this back and take it in the overtime. Because even if they get to 6, there is still the opportunity for them to get some points. Now MVG have already guaranteed that they will get a point, because if they were to lose from this situation, 2 points would go towards PBX and 1 point would go towards MVG. 3 points you get for a full regulation win, so if MVG was to win that now, they would get all of the points. But the points distribution is quite balanced and a best of 1. It's just to make sure that people still have the motivation to continue playing in situations like this when they're only a couple of rounds away from getting a couple of points. You don't necessarily need to get the win.
You know, make it balanced and just enjoyable for everyone in general. Obviously, that Fusco is going to fall.
Oh well.
That is going to be.
Oh no.
This could be another very quick round. As that diffuser's actually going down at the moment, Jam.
Oh my
As
no.
Dre's going to get that diffuser down. That diffuser is now
Oh,
hot. And this round looks like it's all she wrote. And that's going to be the Mozzie falling down as well in the 2 versus 5 situation. And that's going to be the 4th player of the smoke that falls. Oh, potentially. And that's all she wrote for that down. That'll be MVG taking it 7-2.
Yep, 7-4 is the final score there for MVG. The Germans are able to collect all of the points this evening in a very convincing fashion. Now, I can only apologise for the final kind of round there. It was a little bit hectic. The last couple of rounds have been a little bit hectic purely because of the issues with the server. It's also making spectating a little bit iffy as well. But this means, though, that we are able to get ourselves. I'm hoping that everything will be completely fine and we can get everything sorted for the next matchup. But 7-4 is the score for that one. MVG are able to take it. They take all of the points. They collect everything they need. It's pretty convincing in the end. They were pretty consistent throughout the whole thing. But yeah, some server issues that have plagued it a little bit. So again, apologies to the stream. Apologies for the viewers that are tuning in at the moment. That is merely just a server issue in the background. We will try to get that ironed out for the next matchup that we have, which will be the final one for the night, which will be Villains versus Nightwolf Esports as well. And that is pretty much it for that matchup. So set up. Anything else you want to add, Aria?
No, just going to say this next matchup hopefully will be a little bit, softer on the ice, just easier for the viewers, because tonight has not been the best of nights for casting in general. And I think, Ubisoft doesn't make it as easy as they should for us.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in for now. Now, make sure you keep up to date with our socials. We are ESA Cup on Twitter. That is capital E, capital S, capital A _ Cup on Twitter. If you are interested in joining the Discord, the link should be available in the bio as well. So if you do hit that link, you can head into Discord and keep up to date with everything that is happening. 7 weeks of groups. This is only week number 3, so we'll still have another 4 weeks after this to go. And then it is into playoffs, which will last a couple of weeks as well. And then we'll have the elusive finals, and we'll see who's going to get there. Of course, it's a best of 5 final. And I believe as well it's unlimited OT, so it'll be the first one for me that I've done. That'll be that if I get to do it, that is. If we get invited back to do that, it'll be the first one that I've done with unlimited OT. But that is pretty much all the information I have for you. Like I say, ESA _ Cup. It's these Twitch as well. Any donations, subs, bits, anything that is given to us as well would be an absolute dream. It'd be wonderful to receive that as well. We feed everything back into the league. It goes back into prize pools, things like that as well. So it's nice to do it. We would love any donations if you are available to do so. And that is it for that second game. So we will see you back here in roughly the game time. The game time is set for 20 minutes from now. So we will call it 1:30 just to make sure that is basically the time we're going to start from. That'll give us enough time to iron out any issues and make sure everything is set up and good to go and whatnot will happen with that. If there is any information in terms of if there's any issues with the servers that we can't continue and we just decide maybe not to play it on stream just because it might not be the greatest production that we can give to you guys tonight, then we will certainly update you in Twitch chat and we'll certainly update you on Twitter as well. But that is it for now for the second game. We will see you guys in 20 minutes. Bye bye.